special guest Haroon in the studios. It's 10 after 10, 11 after 10, and that was Haroon's brand new track, Ghum Ghum, from Haroon Ka Safar,
That's
Jo
right.
Hota Rehta Hai.
My whole life has been one journey. Well, since I became a musician at the
Yeah.
age of 22, and
Yeah.
just
A musical journey.
musical journey, a life journey, a social journey, and
Yeah.
meeting so many people. The great thing about being a musician is that you make so many friends, or being a well-known person.
Yeah.
I'm sure you get it too,
Yeah.
being a famous, and so wherever you go, people are like, hey, they're like, hey, Haroon, what's up? Because you're in people's living rooms,
Right.
and so they're very friendly. So it's great.
So my friend came back from for Eid holidays, right? So he's he's on the Facebook and everything, right? So he started making status updates like, I'm gonna be up and I'm at the airport and I'm at JFK or wherever, or Chicago or whatever,
Yeah.
O'Hare or Duluth or whatever. And then all of a sudden I see a picture with him and a shady looking guy and another shady looking friend. So I'm like, why did he post this picture up of the airport? And I look very closely and I see it's Ibrahim Haq. And there's a caption, I caught him. So
Great.
dude, that happens a lot to you, right?
It does, and it's great when
So what do? Do you do like the peace sign, or do you have like a pose?
yeah,
To that,
it's
or-
the blue steel look.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. No, that's maybe that was back in the day. That's so much now. Yeah.
Do you get sick and tired of that now, or?
No, it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, when you're like just out at some,
Yeah.
you don't always want to bump into people.
But you do, right?
You eventually do in the strangest of places.
Yeah.
You'll be in a swimming pool and
Yeah.
someone will come and tap you on the shoulder like, oh, you'll be in a swimming pool in somewhere in
Yeah.
LA or wherever,
And people recognize you.
people recognize you, and you're out with your friends somewhere. And
I
the
bet
funniest thing is, I was standing in line. I was just got to LA, and my friends were like, "Hey, we want to take you out to a very nice nightclub."
Yeah.
It's like, sure. So I was standing in line with them, and just then, several guys
Yeah.
turn around and say, "Oh my God, that's Haroon! Is it Haroon? Yes, it is Haroon!" And they start singing, "Tu mere liye jadoo
Jadoo
ka
ka
chara." And it's like,
Right.
we're like, all right, guys. And
Did
So
they
we
do
went-
this step?
they didn't do the did later on when they got in.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was great. It
I
was
have.
good fun.
I just got to tell everybody. I've cut a deal with Haroon. He's going to teach me how to dance after
Yeah.
the show,
Absolutely.
because you taught everyone in the band except for us, right?
No, I taught us it too. And
Yeah?
and he was actually pretty good, and he can do it with his heavy guitar on too.
Yeah, I think
So
he
we
did
still- he
something
did.
on Jadoo Gujarat.
Jal Gujarat, actually, if you watch Mana Manuhat,
Yes, exactly.
three of us
Mana
were doing
Manuhat.
the
They're-
same moves.
All three of you are doing
Then
it,
we went
right?
on tour in the UK, and we were doing a whole bunch of moves. So,
Yeah.
some of them were from the band Kiss.
Yeah,
Us
yeah,
introduced
yeah.
The guitar moves and
Yeah.
everything, and so.
And then you did it on Mr. Fraudier as well,
we
right?
did
In
some
the
moves on Friday.
orange, green, and blue suits.
Blue suits. That's right.
Yeah.
So,
Now, Mr., you've been singing. It's you're into pop music,
mhm.
or would you call it rock music? Or mix?
I would say it's a mix. By and large, it's been more pop, I would say, over the years.
Yeah.
But every album, I've dabbled in all sorts of like a sort of melange. It's like you listen to a song like Yada, it's got some aggressive rock guitars in there. It's
Yeah.
got
So it's a
dolls
mix.
with tablas, and it's
Yeah.
got like a dance beat and a heavy bass line. So it's
Yeah.
a mix.
And you made it cool in the '90s to actually dance to a Mili Nagma, Wadan Kahani. I mean, that's awesome, right? So
yeah.
Avaz, well, Haroon himself as the persona made it cool. Well, you're the only person I know who can, entertain and perform like, dancing and singing at the same time, and that's what set you apart. Because the guys with Vital Signs were all like, okay, let's do this, right?
Yeah.
And then Ali Azmat and Janoon could only do this, right? And people can't see what I'm doing, but
Headbanging,
it's- yeah, whatever.
basically.
Yeah. But you actually brought out the moves, right?
I was like, there we go.
And you also did another thing. Although you're singing, pop music and rock music, and musicians have their aspirations, and you've been commercially successful, you've always made it a point, like always on purpose. You go out attacking somebody. You got Mr. Fraudier. You got, well, not Bessa, but it's a social commentary, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Then you got Go Sabji Go.
Yeah.
Now, if those aren't political anthems, then I'm a monkey's uncle, which I'm not. Okay. So
Yeah.
you got something like that on Haroon Ka Safar?
Well, Go Sabji Go is one of the songs on Haroon Ka Safar, but I
Yeah.
do have, I mean, like, there's a song called Javedam, which does take a sort of, uh, it's talking to the downtrodden masses at this point,
Really?
and it's telling them, yeah, times are tough, but sort of keep the faith,
Yeah.
not face, keep
Okay.
the faith,
All right.
and it's got sort of like that sort of uplifting, positive sort of message.
And you do
Sort of-
that on purpose. I mean, and you've been
because
doing it
you
forever,
can't,
right?
you can't just you ignore what's happening around you. You have to, when you write a song,
Yeah.
what you're feeling is naturally what comes out. You're inspired by whatever you're feeling. If you're in a romantic mood, you're gonna write a romantic song. If
Yeah.
you're thinking of some attractive girl, then you're
Yeah.
gonna write a Mehbooba type song or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But when everyone's talking politics and
Uh-huh.
everyone has very strong views on it, and there's a lot out there that's wrong.
Yeah.
And people like myself, can be a voice,
Mm.
and people can, sort of learn from that or listen to that. The young people.
Mm.
So I feel it's like an obligation.
Do you see that happening with the new bands out there? Are they talking more and more about the current
I
situation?
think they are. I mean, you take somebody like Shazad Roy, who's also doing that very, very sort of socially conscious songs, and that's
Yeah.
excellent. Recently, I met Ali Azmat, and he was telling me that he's Bampata, working on a track called Bampata, and that also, and I think more and more people are doing it in a country like Pakistan. If you can't, I mean, Junoon has always also had messages,
Yeah.
so it's important.
Salman Abed has this released a song with Peter Gabriel for the flood affectees, and they're raising money. And
Wonderful.
you see bands do that all the time. So
Yeah.
how
By
does
the way,
it feel?
this song Goom Goom, all
Yeah.
of the proceeds from the sale are going to the flood affectees. I've
Fantastic.
so the Superstars for Flood Relief,
Yeah.
and I've donated the song to them.
Zabardast.
So it'll be available for download on their site very soon,
Okay.
and sale in shops as well. So all proceeds from the sale of the song will go to that.
How much can I buy one for? The song? What is it, like in rupees or?
I don't know. I'll have to figure out, because this is something that we just
That's
decided just a
fantastic,
couple of
though.
days ago. So
Uh-huh.
we're working. My manager's working on all the details with them, and they're gonna put up it on the site for sale. Yeah. So I think So and the video is very exciting, by the way.
Yeah.
I directed the video.
Really?
Because oftentimes, when you're a songwriter,
Yeah.
you have a sort of vision, or you have
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah.
And so you sit down with the director, and unfortunately, you don't always get the opportunity to work with a brilliant director like Asan Rahim or Asad
Yeah.
Haq. Sometimes
Right.
you have to work with just some average directors.
Okay.
And unfortunately, no matter how you try, the video just is not quite there.
Right.
And
So you
so-
went in and said,
yeah,
all
so-
right, let me do this the
Yeah,
right
so
way.
I've done a few videos, and I'm like,
Now, there's that
it's
George
not quite.
Washington BBA that we're
Yeah.
talking about, right?
And I'm like, okay, well, I spent money on this and time, I'll release it anyway. But you know what? And then people turn around and say, it could have been better. And I'm like, yeah, it could have been, but what can I do?
Videos made here?
The video was shot in London
Mhm.
and in Pakistan, both England and Pakistan. So it has a very interesting concept. It's sort of inspired by the famous quote by Rumi, which is, "I searched for God in the churches and in the holy Kaaba and in the mountains, the seas, and he was not there. And when I looked within, there I found him." So it's something along those lines. I've shot at shrines and cathedrals and mosques in the UK and in Pakistan.
Okay. Well, we got to take a little break. The conversation's been interesting. Let's ask the listeners to ask you questions now. So
Absolutely, sure.
If there's anyone who wants to ask a question, SMS in at 8989, and we'll ask your question directly to Haroon, who's just come out with a new album. He's going to be releasing after Muharram. A brand new song was released on the drive through called Koom Koom, which we just played for you, and we'll be continuing to play it for you on CityFM 89. We'll be back after a short break.